Religious debate is, at best, useless, a waste of time. It's generally frustrating and aggravating, and at worst, actually dangerous. Religious discussion, on the other hand, is at least informative, generally very educational, and at its best, inspirational. When two people are debating a subject, each is trying to score points for his or her position. Each is trying to put the other person's position in the absolute worst light in order to make themselves look better. There's a great deal of ego in a debate. And this may work well for politics, or debating sports, or even which car is better. But when it comes to religious debate, we're talking about matters of faith. Faith that forms and informs a person's entire life and the life of their family, the life of their community. And it's an area that's beyond proof or disproof in the normal sense of the word. Religious debating has a great deal of hubris and pride involved. I know what you believe, you don't have to tell me, and I'm going to show you why what you believe is fundamentally wrong. And both people just go at it. Neither are listening to one another. They're only listening enough to see what areas they can attack, what the weak points of their logic may be. And that is where a religious debate escalates, gets more and more frustrating, and a great deal of problems arise out of religious debating. In the medieval period, when a famous theologian or preacher would come to town, he would give a series of talks at the local church or cathedral and mesmerize his audience, the congregation. And then they would invite, quote unquote, the local rabbi in for a debate. The rabbi would want nothing to do with the debate, could care less about the debate, but would have no choice. He'd be sometimes physically forced into the cathedral, where the theologian would debate him, proving that Jesus was the Messiah, at least proving to the satisfaction of the Christians present. And strangely, when the rabbi would not convert on the spot, in frustration and rage, the Christians, thinking this is another example of the perfidious Jews, the hardness of their heart, their stubbornness, they'd burst out of the cathedral, go to the Jewish neighborhood, have a pogrom, and raise hell on earth in the name of a heavenly faith. Out of religious debates came the Inquisitions, religious wars, conflict, prejudices, fear and hatred of the neighbor, of the alien, of the person who is different. Religious debates remain to this day very dangerous. Religious discussion, on the other hand, is something entirely different. You sincerely ask a person, gee, what do you believe? What do you think on this matter? And then you carefully listen to see what their religion means to them, to their families, and to the history of their nation, their culture, their ethnicity. You ask them, how do you pray? What rites and rituals do you have? What difference does this make in your day-to-day life? And as you ask those questions and listen to those answers, you begin to learn what you have in common with the other and how your religious faith and practices differ. After a religious discussion, both people go away knowing more than before the discussion and understanding others better. In the history of my faith, Catholicism, there was a lot of certainly dark periods of religious violence spawned by religious debate. At the Second Vatican Council, one of the most important documents that was passed by the 2,000 bishops gathered in unity and harmony was Nostra Aetate, which fundamentally imbued the church with a different attitude towards the world religions. And it has been having an effect ever since within Catholicism around the world. When I was traveling in India on a mission for my congregation, I would go, say, to a Hindu temple, look around, see the images there, the statues. I'd ask questions. What are the festivals? What are the feasts? How do people pray? One day I was walking through a neighborhood and I came across a Jain temple. I was sort of astonished because although I had studied world religions in the university and remembered the term Jains and had some idea what they taught and believed, in my rather uninformed mind I had thought erroneously that they had gone extinct some time ago. So I asked if I could enter that Jain temple. How would I enter without causing a disturbance? Would the shoes be on or the shoes off? Hat on, half off? And I was informed, well, just wash your mouth out before going into the temple, which I did. I rinsed my mouth out. I went into this beautiful temple, and there was an elderly woman there teaching about a dozen young girls a variety of chants. She smiled at me and just sort of gestured that I was free to look around, which I did, and I was about to go, and she pointed a staircase out to me that I had not noticed. I went up the staircase and I went on to the top of the temple, and I could hear these young girls chanting below me. And I got the sense of that faith alive and how it had formed and informed and reformed people from one generation to the next generation to the next generation. So that now, if I take a book up on comparative religions and begin to read about the Jains, I could say, I was there. I experienced a little bit of that. Now, there are two ways to study world religions. One is with a hostile attitude towards all the religions. And that is found in certain branches of any religion. And it's also found in some branches of secular scholarship and learning that says, since all the religions teach something different, they can't all be right, they must all be wrong, write them off, forget about it. But there's another way that both secular scholars and religious scholars from a variety of faiths can approach world religions. To see, first of all, what do all the religions of the world have in common? Whether they be religions of an indigenous people at one point on the globe or another, or some of the great world religions, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, etc. What do they all have in common? And that's always very interesting. And then, yes, to study how do they differ? What are their different perspectives? And from studying world religion from this angle, you could learn something about the human heart, the human imagination, the human need for the divine in such a rich and variety of ways. To be in discussion with the soul of humanity in its many manifestations is so enriching and so enlightening. And I pray that you'll have an open mind and an open heart. Yes, that you will be steeped and founded in your own religious traditions, but you will refrain from holding the religions of other people in contempt. And by doing that, you will find yourself becoming closer to the God who loves us and rules over us all.